Hello everyone and welcome to a club reaction pod to Partick Thistle now Rangers 1. Rangers are back and up and running for in the preparation for the charge to 56. So I am your host Scott Carney and joining me today is Ali Pearson. Ali, how's it going, mate?
Not too bad. It's good to have Rangers finally back after all those weeks.
It's good to see them back, mate, to be honest. I think it's very rare that you get excited about a kind of pre-season game. And today, all I kept thinking about was, is it 7 o'clock yet? Is it 7 o'clock yet? I really couldn't wait to see the team and just to see them coming running out. Obviously, we didn't really know what to expect from the game. Obviously, it's going to be the first game of the season. We're not going to be here and criticise anything really too much at all. We're just going to try and discuss a bit of the football. But I mean, it's just good to see Rangers back, and that's important. I think the why we decided to do a pod is we're all in the same boat right now. We're all just a wee bit happy to see our team again. But Ali, just before we get into the game, it was announced today that John Lundstram has joined Rangers on a free transfer, a 3-year deal for him. So what's your initial thoughts on this signing?
Good bit of business. We've been linked with John Lundstram for, I would say, the best part of a year to 18 months now. We've been linked with him in the press. Rangers have obviously been monitoring him. His contracts came to an end at Sheffield United. Obviously, they got relegated last year. So he's 27. I think he's a good signing. I think he's that player we've been missing in the middle of the park. I think Andy Little kind of said tonight an enforcer, if you want to say. I think we lack a bit of dig in the midfield and Ryan Jack's not there. And I think Lundstram could come in and do that job. I think he's a really good signing and looking forward to seeing him.
Me too, mate. As I say, a guy that's played in the Premier League, mate, for 2 seasons, and we're getting him on a free. It's just unbelievable business by Rangers. It really is. And I think it was one of the worst kept secrets that he's been linked quite a number of times with Rangers. And obviously, Gerrard's a wee bit of a fan of him. We found out today that they're both from exactly the same bat of Liverpool and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not a great surprise that he's been drawn to here. But I think it's a great bit of business by Rangers, and I think it's proper stating a bit of intent by Rangers. I think we are showing that we can actually attract Premier League players to our club, which is really, really good. So I'm excited to see him. Obviously tonight came a wee bit too quickly for him, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him getting linked up with the squad and seeing what he can offer. As you said, mate, I don't think he's not fear to a fight. I'll put it that way. I think he'll get absolutely towed in, but again, just well done to Ross Wilson and the club for getting this one over the line. It's a really good signing for Rangers, and hopefully he brings to the table what we kind of think he's going to bring to the table. Because I think it's a great signing for Rangers. But anyway, obviously there'll be plenty of more of that to come, mate, especially when we get our first chance to see him. But we will jump into tonight's match. So obviously Rangers travelled to Firhill to take on Partick Thistle in the first pre-season game of the season. The starting 11 was probably a shock to everybody. I knew there would be changes, but I didn't think there would be that many changes. So the starting 11 was McCrory, King, Edmondson, Simpson, Maxwell, Williamson, Jones, Wright, Middleton, and Defoe, and Mayo as well. Sorry, I missed Mayo out there, and Mayo. On the subs bench, it was Wright, Tavernier, Bassey, Goldson, Hadji, Davis, Itten, Lowry, Aribo, Kelly, Roof, and Balogun. So, Ali, it's good to see a number of the youth players obviously getting a run out in this game. And I think it goes back to what Gerrard was saying on RTV, that he's took a few of the academy players into the pre-season with him, and it's obviously now up to them to kind of make their mark, make their bid to be involved in the squad for the upcoming season. But initially, it looked like Rangers had set up a kind of 4-2-3-1, but especially with Jones, Middleton and Scott Wright playing. Scott Wright pretty much looked like he had the Ryan Kent role, as you can literally play where you want to play, and obviously Defoe was up front. Mayo, who I've not seen playing in the middle of the park, he was in the middle park with Williamson. So initially, mate, when you seen the team, were you a wee bit shocked?
Slightly, yeah. Before we talk about the team, I wish Rangers, when they put the team out, would put it in an order that we know instead of giving us a puzzle to work out.
Honestly, mate, I know, I hate it. The thing is, though, I mean, I genuinely think it's just because it's pre-season that they're doing it. They better not do this all the time. I can't stand it, man.
Yeah, but no, in terms of the team, the boy Mayo in the middle of the park, he actually played. Remember the game we went to, the Challenge Cup, the game at Ibrox against, was it Wrexham or something?
Wrexham, I think, yeah.
He actually played in the middle of the park that day, and he stood out. He was decent, so I expected him to sit there. It was a weird midfield. Middleton was kind of floating in there at points. Jordan Jones was floating about. It was a bit of a makeshift one. I was looking forward to seeing the boy Williamson, because I've seen him a couple of times last year with Arbroath, and he looked decent in their team. So I was looking forward to seeing him. I thought he'd done all right. But yeah, in terms of the team, it was. I didn't think it would be that many changes. But when I seen the bench, I thought I knew what he would do the second half.
100%, mate. Yeah, there's not really any doubt about it that it was going to be wholesale changes at half time. One thing I will say is I've seen the kind of the media, not the media, the pictures that are getting released from Rangers with Lundstram, and he's number 4. Edmundson wears number 4, so read into that what you will. I think that might tell you something. Something's going on with Edmundson. I'm just saying, because strange when I seen Edmundson wearing on like his 4 tonight, and I'd already seen the picture of Lundstram before. I was like, I think that's probably the end of Edmundson. There's obviously something in the wings with that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but as I say, it looks like Lundstram's going to wear number 4, and that's Edmundson's number. So, you know, 2 and 2 together, mate. Just kind of, you know what I mean? You obviously.
Yeah, I think there's a few of them in the shop window tonight, to be honest. You could probably talk about another couple of players, but they're in the shop window. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, mate. But Scott Wright, as I say, he looked bright to start off with, mate. He looked really positive, and he's definitely been on the protein diet over summer. He was some size, man. Honestly, him, even Ansi, Mayo, and Williamson as well. They're big boys for being youth players.
Yeah, no, I did say in one of the shows we did, I think it was last week, about Scott Wright. I seen him in the photos, and I thought he's bulked up, and he bulked up last season when we first brought him in, and yeah, he was a shining light. I thought that first half, Scott Wright, I thought he was really good. But yeah, I think he could be a big player for Rangers going forward.
100%, mate. I think he looked really keen, and I say especially in the kind of Ryan Kent role. If you like, obviously there's so many players still missing from this squad. Do you know what I mean? We're nowhere near the kind of full squad. There's plenty still to come, and plenty more still to see. But we'll kind of break down the game as much as we can, mate. So in the first 10 minutes, no team really getting control of the game. It's all a bit hectic, no real clear-cut chance for any team. There was good link-up play between Jones, Wright and Defoe. Jones in particular had a few kind of positive turns, a few good passes, trying to slip people in. He slipped in... who did he slip in? King. He slipped in King down the right-hand side. He got a crossover, but Defoe couldn't get to it. But the first kind of real chance for Rangers comes on 20 minutes. Defoe is slipped in by Middleton after pouncing on a slip from a Thistle player. You fully expect Jermaine Defoe to score here, but it's saved by the keeper, and I suppose Ali will let him off because it's the first game of the pre-season.
You just expect Jermaine Defoe to score when you see him 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper, and the keeper done well, to be fair. On Jordan Jones, I think a lot of the time, I don't know what you think, I think he plays within himself a lot of the time. I wish he would show just that little bit more belief at times, Jordan Jones. I just think he plays on the edge a lot of the time. He's very frustrating, Jordan Jones. Very frustrating, because I know there's a player in there, and I just think he's not half-hearted, but he plays within himself, I think, a lot of the time. And tonight, again, he frustrated me at points. I know it's a pre-season friendly, we don't want people like, but I need to see it in terms of how I want to see it. It's just, at times, I think there's more in you. I just want to see it. I'm going to presume that he's desperate to stay here. So he's obviously going to do everything that he can to try and make sure that Gerrard thinks that he's worthy of staying. I just think his time's up. I do, and I think it's the whole over-trying thing that he's still almost stuck in, even though the over-trying thing when he gave himself an injury for clattering one of the Celtic players. And yeah, I'm the same, mate. There is a player in there. Obviously, we've seen the goal that he scored against Motherwell this season as well. I mean, it was a cracking goal. Do you know what I mean? It really was a great goal, but he's not done enough. And as you say, mate, I think he's another one that was quite firmly in the shop window tonight, and come and get him, I think, was the kind of plan with that one. But we'll jump in it. So Thistle actually did not bad in the first half, particularly, as you would kind of expect. Though they've had this was their third game. This was their third game. So they've obviously got more. They've got more minutes under their belt than we do, and you could see that. You could see that. But this was very much it was a practice really for Rangers tonight. It was really just a practice game. It was nothing more than that. McCrory does actually make a great save
from across on the left hand side, that Graham for Thistle gets up well, and it's tipped over the bar by McCrory. Wee bit of learning curve for young King at the back, but this is what these games are all about, I suppose. Another chance for Rangers. Defoe does well to win the ball in the middle of the park. Jones is down the left, cuts it back to Middleton, who's about a yard behind the penalty spot in the middle of the box, completely scuffs it wide. I mean, it was shocking. I was like, oh my goodness. But again, he may be another one, mate, that's thinking, I need to make my mark now.
Yeah, he got a burst in it there. I thought he was going to be fair, because he did well at St Johnstone last year. And he, like you say, he's another one I would put in the Jordan Jones camp, if you want to say that. I just think tries too hard half the time, and it just doesn't come off for him. You've seen it last pre-season when he came into the Rangers team, and it was the same. And, well, it's been talked about him going out on loan again to St Johnstone again, which it probably will happen, but in terms of that chance, he's got it busting it with that one, but you can let him off because it's the first game back.
Yeah, it was. I think he knew himself out how much of a scuff it was. But I like Middleton more than I like Jones, and I've got no reason really for why that I do. But there's something about Middleton that I think I want you to succeed more than I want Jones to succeed, and that's probably been a wee bit unfair and a wee bit harsh. But yeah, again, mate, it's just. I don't want to be too harsh because that's the first game of the season, and I don't want to kind of pick it apart. But we're Rangers fans, this is what we do. But I think, yeah, Middleton's another one. I think St Johnstone suits him. To be fair, I mean he was brilliant for them, and he done really well for them. I hope that he gets the move that he wants. If not, I hope he gets his chance here as well, because, again, I think there's a player in there. Whether it's a lack of belief when he's playing with Rangers, I don't know. As I say, I'm really not sure, but I suppose only time's going to tell if we see any more of him kind of through pre-season. And then a chance for Thistle again. Graham was giving Edmondson a bit of a torrid time, to be honest. Gets up and beats him to a header, and it's just past the post, but it pretty much takes us to half-time, mate. So my thoughts at half-time, mate, were we began to, especially towards the end of the first half, we started to struggle in the middle of the park. Mayo and Williamson weren't really controlling things for us. Again, this might be them getting used to new positions, not quite the positions they usually play in with the kind of youth team. So again, you can't be too critical of them. Front three looking okay. Wright and Jones showing me flashes. Nothing as clear as Defoe's chance, though, really. Could see it that it was a much changed 11. I think that's probably the fairest thing that I could say. And you could, as I said before, you could see that Thistle had more minutes under their belt. So, what was your thoughts at half time, mate? Looking forward to the change of 11 that we all knew was going to come.
Yeah, it's probably too critical of the guys that were in the first half, but like you say, a lot of them are probably playing positions they wouldn't play in a Rangers team, to be honest. The boy Mayo, I know I've said he can play in the centre of the park. He was at Dunfermline last season. He didn't play there. He played in the back. So, yeah, the balance of the team wasn't right in that first half. The last 10 minutes, you could see Partick Thistle had the legs over us. We were kind of running out of steam at points. And you can understand it's a very early game and to have in pre-season at the moment. Probably one of the earliest we've had, to be honest. So, yeah, it was a first half that I probably won't remember, to be honest, but I was looking forward to the second half because I knew that's when the big hitters would be coming on the park.
Yeah, and again, we're not. I don't want to be too critical, mate. As we keep saying, it's the first game of the season, but it's fair play to these youth boys for getting their opportunity. They've obviously worked their arse off to be able to get there. Obviously, a few of them have come back from loan as well, so they've obviously got something to prove in terms of them being in a Rangers top. But I think you've got to give credit to Gerrard as well for even allowing these boys the opportunity. This is what Rangers should be doing. We should be encouraging the youth to come through. I mean, we're not always going to get a Nathan Patterson. That's not always going to happen. I think we all know that Nathan Patterson is head and shoulders above any youth player we've produced in a long time, and I'm very excited about him. But there's no doubt that there's potential there within the youth system, and we need to take advantage of the youth system because we've got some set up there. And I mean, I know if I was a 19, 18-year-old boy, mate, I would have done anything I could to be able to practice at Auchenhowie with these players, these managers, these coaches. So, yeah, I just commend Gerrard for it, and I commend them for the hard work in order for them to get there. But we went to the second half, mate. A lot of changes, as you would expect. A lot of the regulars, if you like, coming on for the second half. It was 10 changes, I think. 10 changes because McCrory stayed on, so everything else was changed. I'm not going to read the whole team out again, but it enforces a save really earlier on. Intensity was up, as you would expect. Aribo and Bassey were linking up really well down the kind of left-hand side, leading to a shot from Tav, but it was deflected over. And I'll come on to young Kelly. I thought he looked very composed in the middle of that park, mate. I think you can see the way Rangers have loaned him out and the work that Rangers have been doing with him. He looked like he'd played there for Rangers at least last season as well. I thought he was so composed, so calm, and just constantly there for the pass. He was almost letting Steve Davis move forward a wee bit, and he was just the one kind of sitting. But what was your thoughts on Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, he was at Ross County last season, and he done well at Ross County. And he took his chance tonight, Kelly. I thought it helps that he's playing with Steve Davis and Joe Aribo and Connor Goldson and Tav. If you put like the boy Williamson in there in the second half along with 8 players, he might be shown as well. He's playing with decent players. But no, I thought he was composing the ball. He looked like a player that had played in that Rangers team. He didn't look like a player that just come into that Rangers team. And I know you're correct in the loan system. Rangers have used it correctly last year and put him out to Ross County. And what do we do with him going forward this season? Do we put him on the bench to push, or do we send him out and loan again to somebody else? Because he's more than capable of filling in that Rangers team if somebody's injured.
100%, mate. And I think you look at I'm not sure if Andy Little mentioned this. I think it was more about Lundstram he was talking about, but Zungu's away, mate, and I can't see, from what I've seen of Kelly, even for the bits that I've seen him in Ross County, I don't see him being any worse of a player than what Zungu was. And if Rangers can take advantage of it and he can become a squad player, then yeah, I think he should be considered. I don't think there's really kind of any doubt about that. Would you agree that he's probably no worse than what Zungu was?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what age Kelly is. I'd like to hazard a guess that he's probably 21 or something. I think 2021, because he's been out in loan. I think he was out. I think it was Ayr United in the Championship. Then he's going to Ross County, so he's gradually went up a level. So where would he go next season on loan? Could you put him out to a
Hibs or something?
That's what I was thinking, a Hibs or something. I could see him playing in a Hibs team or something, just that next level. So it's up to Gerrard what he wants to do with him. If he thinks the midfield's strong enough, I still think he'll bring one extra player in that midfield area. We've still got the boy for Bournemouth, Namdi Offerbaugh. I saw sitting. He was sitting in the bench or the stand tonight at one point I seen. So he's still to come in with. We'll have a wee look at him. So no, Stephen Kelly, he's got a chance. If he can knuckle down in these next 3-4 games, wherever we got in pre-season and shine, he's got a right good chance.
Yeah, I don't think he done himself any harm tonight at all. I really don't. I think he composed himself very, very well. He gave a good account for himself. Just before we move on, because you spoke about the stand, that match day kit, by the way, the orange and blue one, I think. And then did you see the tracksuit, the grey tracksuit there when they got off the bus? Oh, mate, I'm going to be so skint, man, honestly. It was really nice. The orange and blue one, that's particularly smart. A fan of it?
Yeah, they know what they're doing, Castor. They were always going to have something different tonight to show all us watching on the telly, to do exactly what your reaction is there. I want to go and buy it. So if they've got us hook, line, sinker, Castor, they know what they're doing. I was even looking at Stevie Gerrard's the tracky bottoms and that. Aye, smart. It was a really good fit. It's not. They look really smart. Maybe it's because it's Steven Gerrard wearing them that makes it look better. But no, it's everything they bring out, Castor. You all go in the group chats. Or look at that, and honestly, they're going to make us absolutely skint this season once again, Castor. But we will.
As soon as that grey tracksuit comes out, mate, I'm getting one of them. I honestly loved it. As soon as I seen it, I was like, "Oh, that's beautiful, man!" It's just something different as well. It's not they do know what they're doing. They're very smart, these people. But even the orange and blue kind of the training top, mate, it's an absolute belter. That fair play to them, as I say. There's going to be so much of it this season, man. We're only just at the start of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to need to just eat rice and chicken for the rest of fucking my life and just buy Castor gear. But yeah, really, really, really good. But anyway, back to the football. Rangers were in control, as you would expect. Obviously, we've got a lot of the kind of first team on the park at this time. Bit of slackness, as you would expect. Again, Aribo and Bassey were the only ones really trying to do something. Tav as well wasn't quite there, as we're about to come to. Roof then goes close, hits the post. Again, Roof I thought looked really positive when he came on, showing his quality. I mean, it just oozes out of him, it really does. Into the last 10 minutes, and Rangers get a penalty from a handball after Tav hits the ball into the wall. Hands up. Hands were in an unnatural position from the Thistle player. That's why the referees gave the penalty. Tav steps up, smacks the post, and it's deflected out for a corner. Tav and penalties, mate. Where do you want to start?
I knew he was going to miss it.
Well,
and we shouldn't be thinking that, but when we got that penalty, and it's a penalty, it was hard to see from the replay as well because they couldn't really slow it right down to shows. But when he stepped up and missed it again, I don't know what it is with us in penalties. I really don't. I mean, we're going back now 2-3 years with penalties, and we seem to miss a lot of penalties. I mean, if he's going to miss one, he might as well do it in a pre-season game and get out of his system. I would keep Tav on the penalties. I do think he strikes a ball well for penalties, but yeah, it's just one of those ones. I just knew he was going to miss it. I really did, and I don't know what it is. I really don't. He's missed quite a lot at Tav now, and what do? Do you keep him on it? We did this before, and we took him off it and went through three penalty takers, and we went back to him. So I don't know what you do. I mean, there must be guys in that team that can hit a penalty. Kamar Roof, could he hit one? I don't know. Barisic, we've tried, but he can only hit one way. But I would keep Tav on it. I know a lot of people might say tonight, "Oh, we need to get him off the penalties and all this," but I would keep him on it.
I would keep him on it as well, mate. It's the first game. It's the first game. I don't know how many times we've said it, but it's first game. But I was the same, mate. When he stepped up and hit it, I went, "Well, he's going to miss this." Just ran through my head. I was like, "He's just going to miss this." I mean, it was a good struck penalty, mind you. Don't get me wrong. He's hit it well, but I mean, he's that whole footballing cliche that he's hit it too well, mate, and it's right off the base of the post. Actually, Tom Miller was trying to give the keeper credit. I was like, I don't think the keeper get near that.
Near it.
I was like, I don't think the keeper get near that. But I just makes one of the things into it. But say we weren't to be disappointed for too long. Not that we were particularly disappointed, and the goal finally comes. Quickly before we move on, though, the Thistle fans celebrated that penalty miss like they just won promotion. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, Rangers haven't played a game of football in like 2 months, and you're celebrating like you've just won something. But I say they were put firmly, made quiet very, very shortly after that, put it that way, and makes a breakthrough. So it's good work from Roof down the right-hand side, gets a crossover. Hadji heads the ball back down, and as cool as you like, and slots it home to give Rangers a deserved lead. We deserved the goal, mate, let's be honest. We absolutely dominated that second half, and said to Ted, scores again, mate.
Yeah, I was happy for getting to get a goal, so maybe that'll be the start of him getting a few goals in pre-season. Hadji with another assist. I thought he was in and out the game again, which you see for Hadji, but another assist from Hadji, you wouldn't expect him to win a ball in the air like that, and it goes down to hitting and he scores. I would say I thought Kamar Roof looked really sharp. I think Kamar Roof with a full pre-season under him, not getting injured, hopefully, could be a big player for Rangers next season. He just looked really sharp tonight. His turns away, twist. I just think he could be a big player for Rangers next season as long as he's injury-free. I just thought he looked head and shoulders above players in that park at time tonight. He's very intelligent, and I think it could be a big season for Kamar Roof this year. I
would 100% agree, mate. And I also think that having somebody like Jermaine Defoe around and the way Defoe takes care of himself, it's probably rubbing off on him as well because he has had these injury problems, mate. So he's thinking, I need to be in the best possible shape that I can be for pre-season. And you're right, mate. With a full pre-season under his belt, he could be very important for Rangers. The class oozes out of him. Do you know what I mean? He's got quality to burn, that boy. He really does. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else he brings to the table. So the game kind of phases out, really, if you like, after that. Not really very much to report. Rangers get to the full-time whistle and we have won the first game of the pre-season, mate. So we'll go away. We'll do two man of the matches. We'll do a first half man of the match and a second half man of the match. So who was your first half man of the match today?
Oof.
If it's not who I've picked, then it will be.
Right. First half, I struggled slightly with it, but I would say the one guy that he wants the ball, he wants to try do something with the ball. I'm quite excited about him. I have been for a while. I'll give it Scott Wright.
Scott Wright for me too, mate. 100%. I don't think there's any doubt really about it. I thought he looked the most positive in the first half. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And the size of him, man, like his shoulders have just grown about 4 inches each side. It's mental.
See when he did that wee bit of skill in the middle of the park and then nutmeg that boy. That was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful. And his link-up play is really good, as you say. Yeah. I think if once they're all up and running and really, really fit, I think he's quite an intelligent player as well. He doesn't seem as just a kind of one-trick pony. I'm just going to run as fast as I can. I think he's got a wee bit more to his game, and I've been excited since the first time I seen Scott Wright. I thought, he looks like quite an exciting player. So yeah, I'll give it him for the first half. Second half, so I've got 3 written down. And one winner, obviously. So Roof, again, I thought he was great. I think he, as we've just spoke about him, I think he looks really, really good. And obviously got us the goal, but I'm going to give it to young Kelly. He just looked very calm and composed, and he did himself no harm at all. And he was head and shoulders the best kind of youth player that we had playing today. Yeah, I know what you said, mate, that he was on the park with Davis and Aribo and that around him, and Goldson behind him, obviously. But yeah, I think he looked as if he'd been playing there for ages. He just looked so calm and composed. So I'm going to give it to young Kelly. Who are you going for?
Yeah, Kelly was really good. I'd have him up there in my top 3, top 4 players. I would give it to Kemar from what I said previously. I just thought he was above a lot of players today with the intelligence, the way he just turns with a ball. I would give special mention to Big Shirley as well at left back. I thought he done well when he gets going. Christ, you can't stop him. He's like a train going up and down there. He done well. And again, Steve Davis just does what Steve Davis does. and you just expect it. But for me, no, Kemar Roof, I would give it to. I thought he was really good in spells today.
Yeah. But again, mate, it's the first game of the season, and I'm just so happy to see Rangers back again. I can't wait for the season to get started now, just now that we've seen them play. So that'll do us, mate. Just a short and sweet one tonight. We will be back later on this week with a Club Deck Corner. Unfortunately, we won't be able to bring you a club reaction on Saturday. Every single podder has something planned, and this was planned before, obviously, the fixtures came out. So unfortunately, we won't be able to bring you in for Saturday, but we'll be back. We'll definitely come back for the Arsenal game, because I think we're all really looking forward to seeing the Arsenal game. But Ali, as always, mate, thank you very much for your time, mate, and good to see the boys in blue back.
No problem. Yeah, no, it's good, and it's I'm looking forward to it. That's Rangers on the telly from now till the 31st when we play Livingston. So no, looking forward to it all.
Beats watching Scotland, doesn't it?
Don't say that, it's Scotia.
Yeah, but that'll do us. So thanks everybody for listening. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, give the videos a wee like, give us a wee 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, leave a comment and share anywhere that you can. It really does help support us, and that'll do us. We're out here, mate, and I'll speak to you again later in the week. So we are Club at 22, the Champions Podcast, and we will speak to you all next time. Cheers.